Hi, Hi everyone. My name is Juliet Hahn, and I am the founder of the workshop Your Next Stop. I also have a podcast, and my workshop is actually born out of season two of my podcast. And my passion in life is to help people find their purpose and their passion and turn that into a business. So, what I did here is I created a virtual workshop, and the virtual workshop is self-paced and there's worksheets to it. So my goal about this is to help people kind of go through this workshop and really think about what drives them and what they want in life and how they want to live life. So I'm going to take you a little bit through. Again, this is all self-paced. So this is one of these workshops that I always say to my clients, really try to do it in a weekend to a week. If you take longer, what happens is sometimes you lose momentum, right? You lose momentum and you decide, I don't really want to do this anymore because you're doing hard work on yourself. So, a little bit about me. I am a wife, I'm a consultant, I'm a public speaker, I'm a mom, I'm a podcaster, and I'm a crazy obsessed dog lover. I started my podcast in 2019. And the reason why I did that is because my kids were a little bit older. I was able to stay home with my children when they were growing. And I came to a time in my life that I felt like I was lacking purpose and I was lacking passion. So I was a little bit stagnant in my life and I didn't like the way that felt. And it probably was for like a week. And I was like, I need to create something. So that's when I created my podcast. And from there, this workshop came about because I wanted to be able to help other people. My main target is women, moms that are in the same boat. Maybe we all had careers at some point. Maybe we worked outside the home. And as we grew, as our children grew, our desires grow, right? And we kind of need something for ourselves. So I created this workshop to kind of help you find that purpose and passion because I truly believe God gives us all a purpose. We all have something that we're supposed to be doing. We just sometimes need to stop and reflect and really think about it. So, here, when you do this virtually, this is welcome to the course. It's a little bit about me, which I just told you. This is also the outlines and objectives, what I expect from you guys. I really want people to have a notebook, to take notes, to really sit and think, not do this while your kids are running around, while you're doing other things. This is really meant to sit and reflect. So, again, I even have a commitment contract because I feel like when people write their name down on something and say, this is what I am going to do, that's usually when we do it, not just, okay, I want to do something. I want to do something for myself. And you really don't take it further from there. So as you go into here, you will see the Success Accelerator. You guys can see that, right? So this is how we first kind of start. We talk about what is your plan for taking action and getting a little bit unstuck. So how are you going to jumpstart yourself? Are you looking to jumpstart a new business? Have you always wanted to write a book? Have you always had a product that you wanted to create? Do you have a hobby that you do every day that actually could be a business, but you don't know how to start that? So that's why we're doing this, right? So I want you guys to remember your why. This is what I ask all my clients. Why did you take this course? What made you decide I want to do this? Was it more about your personal life? Was it more about a new business? Was it something, maybe it was about your health? Your health wasn't good, so you wanted to kind of get unstuck there. So then as we go through, this is the first kind of thing where I have you guys sit. And I really want you to think about, if you were to create your own business, how would it look? Okay, I really want you to sit there and think about it. How would your business look? What would your ideal position be? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? What would your title be? So if you had no other objections, nothing else getting in your way, how would you sit down and really think about what your typical day would be? Who would be the employers? Who would be people that you were working with? Who would be customers? So who would you be dealing with every day? And sometimes it feels a little silly, but this is why I have this here. So this is your fantasy, right? So this is what you really, really want when you sit down and you think about it. So you have your notebook, you're writing down. Again, do not limit yourself, because this is what's so important. And this is what sometimes we don't do, right? We don't take the time to really think about this. We don't think about how I want my life to look. We kind of just assume this is what it's going to be. Okay, so here's your fantasy. What is your reality? So you're going to sit and think for a second. I'll give you guys a second to write this down. But what does your reality look like? What does it look like when you get out of bed? What are you doing every day? If you do not have a business, or you are in a business, are you enjoying that business? Do you enjoy getting up and going to work every day? Okay. So based on the above, and again, this course is meant for you to really sit and take time. So I'm just kind of taking you through the overview so you get a natural sense of what this is. And typically when I teach this, I either will have someone do it self-paced, or I will be standing in front of an audience and they have all this down, and we really take time to dive into this. So this is not meant to kind of do all right now, but this is where I would love for you to have the notebook and write this down. So what you put above, write a few sentences describing what success means in your business. So what would it be to have a successful business? I'll give you guys a second to do that. So like, really, what is the definition of success to you? And you can write that down in one sentence. Okay. So here, again, some people are taking this course because they kind of want to kickstart their health, right? They feel like, okay, I love my job. I love what I do. But when I wake up, I'm tired. I don't feel great. I'm not taking care of myself in this aspect of their lives. So what is your ideal health? So just like we did before, what your ideal business looks like, what is your ideal health? What does it sound like to you? And what does it feel like when you wake up out of bed? Does it feel like you jump out of bed and you're happy and you're excited to start the day? Or do you wake up and you're sluggish and you hit snooze 15 times and you don't get out of bed when you're supposed to? What are you eating for breakfast? What are you drinking? Are you drinking coffee? Are you drinking tea? Are you drinking juice? Are you drinking water? Now you're getting dressed for work. How do your clothes feel? Do they feel tight? Do they feel loose? Do you feel good in your clothes? Do you look in the mirror like, okay, I'm going out, I'm tackling the day? Or do you put your clothes on and you feel like, ugh, I really don't feel good? I want you to also think about your energy. So when you're trying, you're having your breakfast and you're sitting there, maybe you're drinking a cup of tea, you're having some water, you've gotten dressed, you took a shower, you brushed your teeth. What is your energy? Are you going through this morning routine successfully, feeling light, feeling energized? Or are you going through super sluggish, tired, grumpy? So these are all these kind of questions that I ask you to sit and really think about. And some of you might be sitting there thinking, I feel a little silly doing this, but it's really important to kind of self-assess ourselves. When we self-assess ourselves is when sometimes we answer some hard questions, right? Sometimes we're like, you know what? I actually am waking up feeling kind of crap. I'm feeling tired right now. So what does your typical day in a healthy body look like? What are you doing? I really want you to think about that. What are you doing in that day? And see, this is where it's cute. There's a little notebook. There's a little space for you to write. And it's more than just an apple a day, right? We always hear an apple a day keeps the doctors away, but it's more than an apple a day. There's many things that we have to do. So then I ask you from there, based on the exercise that you did above, I want you to just take and take your time doing this. Write a few sentences describing what success means in your health. So think of it as a prescription pad for your health. What would you write down there? I'll give you guys a second there as I get to the next slide. So after I have everyone do that, so again, you can see where some people can go through that pretty fast. Some people need to really sit and self-assess. The people that are really serious, that really take the workshop and really, really think about it because they really want to change some aspect of their life, they're going to take their time. They're really going to take and sit in a quiet spot where they're not distracted, which is not always easy. Trust me, I have 3 kids, 2 dogs, a husband, very busy. But when I feel a little unsettled in my body, I know that I need to reassess myself, right? What is going on? Am I not getting enough sleep? Am I not eating well? Am I not doing what I'm meant to be doing? So then we go here into take action. So we go into module 1. And the thing that I did with this course is because I'm very much of a visual learner. So as much as I like to have pieces of paper in front of me, I love to hear from, kind of virtually. So I'm going to just play for a second where you can see where I do this. And I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's 5 minutes and we'll get into the different modules here. Of course, it's going to take a second. So as that's loading up, we'll see here. Oop.
We cannot hear the voice, so it's just a video now.
Oh, you can't hear the voice? Okay, so I won't play that. So this basically tells you, okay, you've done the first aspect of the, it's funny because I can hear it in my headphones. Thank you, Andrea. So here, I basically take you through, let's assess the first thing. And then we go into the checklist, right? Because some people are going to blow through that first part and they're going to be like, oh, I don't need to know about my health. I don't need to know about this. But if you're spending money on a workshop and you're spending money, these are the important things. So I kind of give you a little like reminder. Hey, did you finish pages 1 through 5 or 1 through 9? Did you print out all the modules? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? So we go through that where you're really going through and taking care of what is important, right? We're taking care of why you're supposed to do that. Okay, so here, I'm going to take you through here, your big why. Okay, so again, everything really has, some things have a video, most things have a video, but not everything, because not everything needs a video, right? Some things just need a little expression. So here's your big why. Now that you kind of know what you want and you know what you want and why you want it, I want you to describe above the definition of success. Why are they important to you? So today, what's important, right? Then you're going to do tomorrow. And here you're going to have the overlapping. So one day, today, this is going to be important to you. What's important today? But then when you think about it, is what's important today also important tomorrow? And then beyond, what is your future? What do you want in your future? So you're writing about today success. What do you feel that you're doing successful? What do you want tomorrow's success to be? And then what do you want the future success to be? So again, you're printing these out and you're going through that. I really want you to kind of think about that. Okay. Now here, it's list at least 3 things you will do with the additional time or money you will have once you complete this workshop, right? So in an ideal world, you finish the workshop, you have an idea of what you want in your new business, or you're happy with your business, but you want to get healthy, and this is what you're going to do. So what are the additional things you're going to do in an ideal world, right? You have more time and you have more money. So that's where you're taking action. You're writing it down. You're putting the pen to the paper. And that's when, okay, I'm writing this down. I'm saying out loud, right? A lot of times when we say things out loud and we're just not thinking in our head, because we all have dreams, right? We all dream. We all want certain things in life. And if it's just in your head and you're not putting it down on paper or saying it out loud, that's just where it is. It's in your head and you're not taking the action to actually do it. So I want you guys to put that down on paper. Okay. So now I want you to think about what's stopping you. Those 3 things that you put down. What is holding you back? Is it your mindset? Because mindset and limiting beliefs are what hold us back from achieving an ideal life. Saying, no, I don't deserve this, or I'm not smart enough to own my own company, or I don't have enough money to write that book that I've always wanted to write, or I don't have time to sit down and actually create the life I really want. And you're just going through the motions. Do you sometimes feel like you're not worthy, like you don't deserve it? Or do you think sometimes, no, I don't have what it takes to be successful? Or do you think, you know what? I'm really not smart enough, right? I didn't go to college, or you don't feel smart, or I don't know where to start. Below, I want you to write 5 thoughts that are holding you back. And that's here what we do. Again, this is all self-paced. So you can see where it's really important to sit down, take the time to really self-reflect, to sit down in a space that's quiet, that you're not distracted, that you can really daydream, because that's what this course is about. It's really letting yourself kind of go and thinking without any distractions, it doesn't matter where you live, what your family life is like, what's holding you back. It's actually thinking, what do I want out of life?
Let's ask Juliet, the people in the room. We have Jack, Carrie, Kiki, Simfong, and Sabrina. Write in the chat at least one thing, and then why one of the limiting things that are stopping you. Let's see whether they have already something. Jack, Carrie, Kiki, Simfong, Sabrina.
I love that. Now I can't see the chat, Andrea. You can see it?
So Jack is saying today, title for my ebook, tomorrow, start designing beyond. What's the content? Very nice, Jack. Thank you. KK, Carrie, Simfong, Sabrina, anything that you would like to write? One thing that you would like to do if nothing would be stopping you, and what's stopping you today? Yes, we can wait for them. You can go on. I just wanted to ask the people in the room. Thank you.
No, yeah, I love that, because I can't see when you're sharing a screen. You know, sometimes it's hard to see what is going on behind the scenes. Okay, so getting started. So now we're in. So our goal in creating this workshop is to get unstuck and start taking action. When you start believing you can do it and take action is when your life starts changing. People around you will notice a shift in your energy and attitude, and that will help you keep moving things in the right direction, right? When you wake up, your clothes feel good, You skip off to work, or you skip off to your desk to sit down to write that book, to start that blog, to create that project, to do a global summit like Andrea does, right? You skip off to do it. People around you start noticing. What are you doing that's different? What actions are you taking in your life to start doing it? So here, I want you to list 5 to 10 things you love and are passionate about. A lot of times people will say, oh, I can name a couple different things. Like I will give. And so in the video, I give you examples. So that's one thing I did. I'll give you examples of things that I love and I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about helping women get unstuck, and men. It's not just for women, but because I am a woman, I am a mother, that resonates with me. I'm passionate about animals. I love my boxers. I do a lot of rescue work. I am passionate about the environment, and I always don't give enough time to that. But there was a time in my life I actually used to teach young kids about the environment. I'm passionate about education when it comes to dyslexia and learning disabilities. And that's because I am dyslexic. I have my child is dyslexic, my dad, and dyslexia. If you don't know what that means, it just means our brains work different. Sometimes school is hard because we learn a little different, but a lot of people with dyslexia are entrepreneurs because we have a big picture of the way we think and just sitting down and doing things like that. So I'm very passionate about that. So those are some of the things I could talk about all day long. So when you think of passion is when you think about something you could really talk about all day long. So when I'm doing my podcast, I'm passionate about my podcast. I love talking to people, hearing their story. I'm passionate about my workshop. As you can hear, I get excited, right? So when you start talking about something that you're passionate about, your energy goes up, your heart goes up, you really just you feel alive. So that's something that I want you to think about. And actually, Andrea, I would love for people to write in the chat something that they're passionate about, and you can kind of share that.
I have a question for you. In the big why circles, what is the difference between tomorrow and beyond?
So yeah, tomorrow is literally tomorrow. Beyond is your future life. So today is like literally you sit down and write the today, and then tomorrow is like tomorrow or the next couple days, but in 5-10 years is beyond, right? So how you see your life in 5-10 years, because it could be you want to be making $1 million, right? Tomorrow, you're not going to be able to make $1 million, right? In one day, but 5 to 10 years, you can make $1 million. So I hope does that explain it?
I think it's okay. KK will write if it's not.
Okay.
So Juliet was asking for the next thing, which is your passion, right?
Yep. Just something that you're passionate about. So just, even if it's just one thing, if everyone wants to share something that they can talk all day long, or they get like I am getting right now, very excited. And as you're thinking about that, the next thing I want you to think about, and this is sometimes hard for people, but what are 5 things people say about you? And what I say, and even in the passionate part, is if you're stuck, ask people around you, ask people that know you, right? What do you think I'm passionate about? And people right away. And my kids, I should say that my kids and my family, I'm very passionate about making sure that they are raised correctly and that they know life, right? That we're not hiding things from them in life, that they know what is out there. That's another thing I can talk about. So the 5 things people say about you. When I ask people 5 things about me, you have a lot of energy. It's usually the first one they say. Another thing is you're passionate about a lot of stuff. A lot of times that's what people say. So those are 2 things. Another thing is you love your dogs. You love your family. So 5 things that people say about you. Okay. Now here's the next thing that sometimes people have a hard time with. 3 things that you're really good at. So if I'm being truthful with myself and you're not bragging, right? 3 things I know I do better than most people. And one of the things in this workshop, I wanted to give you guys the control to actually brag a little bit about yourself, because some of us don't do that enough. Some of us don't talk about what we're good at. You talk to someone and they say, oh, well, you know, I I'm okay. You know, I cook for the family. And then you hear from the family, they're actually a gourmet chef and they went to school for it, but they decided to stay home with their kids. So they don't do it as a profession anymore, but they're really good at it, or they're really good at organizing, or they're really good at baking, or they're really good at juggling 1,000 things. So 3 things, and this is, again, we can put in the chat, 3 things that you know you do better than most people. Like I will say, I know that I'm really good at communicating and I'm really good at asking the right questions or different questions. Now, this next spot, sometimes people have a hard time with because, excuse me. It's thinking about things that are hard. Andrea, I'm going to mute myself for 1 second. I got a cough.
All good. Until then, everyone in the room, we were asking for 3 things that you do better than most people. So please, if you have something, then just write it in the chat so that we can discuss about it with Juliet. And then when she found her voice, I will give the mic back.
Got a little fuzz. I think a little dust ball got in my throat. So I am not good at dusting. I will say that. So here is 5 words I would like people to describe me as, right? So up here, we did passion, 5 things people say about you. So that's like things that you think people say about you, right? Now here's 5 words I would like people to say about me. Do you see the difference? It's 5 things that you think people say about you, but how would you like them to describe you? So I know I'm not always the most organized. At times it frustrates me that I'm not always organized. So sometimes I know I could do better, especially with my business, if I had a little bit more organization in my systems. It's something that I have to recheck myself all the time. I would say something that I would love someone to describe me as is having a really good heart, which I know I do, but I know people always will say, oh, her energy, her sense of humor. And a lot of times it's like, oh, I would love for them also to say she has a good heart or she's a good mother, right? We don't always go, and I know I'm a good mother, but it's not something that we don't give each other enough pats on our backs. We don't tell each other when we're really good at something. And I don't know why. I mean, I feel like in some circles people do, but I don't feel like we compliment each other enough. And I think it's an important thing to do. So this is what you want: 5 words I would like people to describe me as. Okay. And then here, again, these are all things that you're printing out. So you're sitting and doing this in a quiet, undistracted place. That's the other thing, is I can sometimes get a little distracted. And so I know I need to sit. That's why this is so important. When I tell people, my clients, when they start this, please do it when there's not kids running around. Because how many times have you sat down to go do something, work on yourself, and you're doing it with 10,000 things going on? And you're really actually not stopping and thinking. And it's hard. This is hard. And for some people, it's really hard. So 5 to 10 things about my new business, my new life, and my health, and my new health. And this is where I just want you to write, okay, so in my ideal life, what is it?
We have something coming in from Suraya. As I am listening, I'm thinking, who should I ask to do these things for me? Such a good way to identify, especially being in a crossroad.
Right. So that's the thing. Sometimes we can't figure it out ourselves. So I always say, think about the person that's closest to you. Now, not everyone has a situation where they can ask, right? And that's when they really have to kind of do the deep work themselves. Like, okay, I need to think about this. But even if it's someone that maybe you meet when you go to the grocery store, they see you every week, someone you go to the post office, someone in your kids' class. If you're on social media, it's not the worst place to ask, hey, when you think of me, what are 5 to 10 things that you think of me? Sometimes you're going to get some information that you actually maybe don't realize And it's not the worst place. Sometimes people think, oh, social media, but social media, sometimes you can, because you have people that are following you, maybe people from high school, from college. Does anyone else have any other questions in that?
For now, it was only Suraya. But if you have, guys, Jack, Carrie, KK, Simfong, Suraya, Sabrina, just ask some questions. Thank you.
Okay. So here is another interesting thing, right? So 5 core beliefs and values. These are navigational tools for life. In the space below, write down 5 core beliefs that you live by. Core beliefs are basic beliefs about ourselves, other people, the world we live in. They are things we hold to be absolute truths deep down. Underneath all surface thoughts, essentially core beliefs determine how you perceive and interpret the world. So examples, right? Leading by example, showing respect, being accountable, delivering inspiration, exhibiting confidence, leading with integrity, being optimistic, being humble, investing in others, loyalty, honest, trust, communication. And there's so much more. Sometimes people need to look up because they're like, okay, I think I know what my core beliefs and values are, but I'm not 100%. And so they need to go in and kind of look, but this is where I give some examples. And again, in the video, I talk about where my core beliefs, and a lot of times you could have a few core beliefs, but at certain times, those core beliefs are a little bit more important. So communication in my family is one of the biggest things. I think it's so important to communicate with your spouse, with your children, with your friends and your family, because a lot of times we think people know what's going on in our head. And I think that's is actually one of the things that is sometimes a problem in this world, because people can't read minds. So communicating what's on your mind, how you're feeling, if you're frustrated, if you're happy, is really important. So one of the things in my family is if something's bothering us, we need to express it. And I have teenagers, so it's not always easy. But one of the things that my husband and I always do when we first started dating, I said to him, listen, if there's something that's frustrating you that I'm doing or frustrating you in the outside world, I need you to communicate with me, because I'm not a mind reader. And the way that we're going to have a better relationship is if we can openly communicate with each other. And that has worked really, really well with us. So that's a big, big thing. Showing respect is another thing. My kids, when they were little, I didn't care if they had messy hair. People would be like, oh my gosh, your kid's hair is so messy. You know what? I don't care, but they're respectful and they're good kids. And that's what's important to me. So it's okay that we didn't go out to the world looking all put together because maybe we were rushing. But my kids will always say please and thank you. They will always hold the door for someone. And to me, that's more important than just an outward appearance. So those, to me, are core beliefs and values.
We have a few comments coming in. So the first one is from Simfong Chan. 2 things I can do better than most people. Spherical thinking, generous to share my knowledge. Other thing that I'm opinionated. So that was from Simfong.
Love it.
We have Wisdom Sabrina saying writing is one of my skills, sustaining them is the other. And then Jeg is saying 5 core beliefs: discipline, honesty, respect, dedication, and devotion. And then we have a question from Suraya, from her sister who is listening together here. So how do you get yourself out of your own way in your progress?
So that, I mean, that's one of the things as you go through, and I love everything that everyone just added there. Thank you for that. So that's one of the things that when you go through the workshop and you're writing all of these down, you have to go back and reassess yourself. So getting in the way right? Getting in your way is a limiting belief, in my opinion. It's a limiting belief. What is stopping you? Why are you getting in your own way? What are you telling yourself? So I have this little thing here that sits next to my desk. It says unstoppable. And whenever I'm like, get in my way or get a little stuck, I look at this and I say, yes, I am unstoppable. Everything that my mind has created, everything that I want to do, I know I will do it. I might not do it today. I might not do it tomorrow. It might not be in God's plan to be right now, but I know deep down that I will do it in my lifetime. And it's not an excuse when I say in my lifetime. I will continue to put my pen to my paper, to do the things that are important to me right now and what I'm dreaming of. But when God has a plan, and whether you believe in God or the universe, when God has a plan and the universe has a plan, sometimes your paths might go a little ziggity, right? But when you're getting in your own way, is it that you're not taking action at all, that you're just stopping? Or is it that God is putting you in a different direction, that maybe what you are getting in your way is because that's not your path. So you have to stop and think. When you're in the flow, and if any of you have been in the flow, it's such an amazing feeling because doors just open, right? People put you in connections. So some of you right now are listening here and you're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed. I needed everything that Juliet is saying. And again, I'm not saying this out of bragging, but I know this workshop really gets people unstuck and thinking. So some of you right now being like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed, right? Because that was what was meant to happen. So that's something that you need to think about. That's something that you need to say to yourself, okay, am I getting in my own way because of limiting beliefs? Or is it because I'm supposed to be doing something else? I hope that makes sense.
We have 2 more comments. So Sabrina is saying sustainability is my core. And then Simfong is saying honesty, live by my principles, educate others, respect, and equality. And life is a compromise.
I love that. Okay, so then so that was module 1. Then you get into module 2. And we do again the checklist. So it takes you through, okay, I finished 1 through 9. So again, this just brings you back and it makes you think, okay, did I do everything I was supposed to do? Okay, or am I doing everything in here? So to me, morning routine is a very important thing. And I know it's so cliche, right? All people in health and fitness worlds, it's all about a morning routine. People that are successful, it's about a morning routine. But it really is true. When you don't have a plan in the morning or you don't have routine in the morning, sometimes you can't get where you're meant to get. So I always give an example a lot of times to my clients. I say to them, you need to wake up before the rest of the house wakes up, right? So whether you're single and it's just you, or you have animals, or you have a family, you need to wake up before they get up to start your day, and then you move forward. So our goal in creating this workshop is to get you unstuck and start taking action. When you start believing you can do it and take action is when your life starts changing. People around you, and I've read this before, but this is important. People around you will notice a shift in your energy and an attitude and will help you keep moving in the right direction. And this starts with a morning routine. It also is changing a few bad habits, which goes a very long way. So here, 5 words on how I feel when I wake up in the morning. We talked about this a little bit before. When you wake up, do you feel sluggish? Do you feel energized? Do you feel grumpy? Do you feel tired? Now, a lot of times we might at first feel, especially if you're not a morning person. I'm a morning person. I have family members that are not morning people. I don't expect them to have the same energy I have in the morning because everyone is an AM or a PM person, right? Some people get more energized at night. Some people get more energized in the morning. And really what that means is that you do your best work either in the morning or in the evening. I know for myself that in the morning is when I am in my flow, is when I really feel the best. And there's times where I can do it in the evening, but I really have to ramp myself up. Okay. So 5 words to describe how I want to feel when I wake up in the morning. Okay. So before it was how I felt. So I really want you to think about that. But how do you want to feel? Someone might say, I'm not a morning person, so I really don't need to feel the energy. I just want to have a little bit more of a flow and a little bit more of a routine. Okay. So Andrea, remember when I said it was 30 minutes, but it could be longer?
Yes, I think we could just stop the live stream because the people in the room are very active. So I believe they will have a lot of questions. What do you think? Maybe we could just do that. So thank you for all those who are watching on YouTube. Next time, see you in the workshop room. And now we are going to our discussion within the room. So I will just stop the live stream.
And if the people in the live stream want more information, they could go, to my page and find out, where the workshop I've made, where it's really affordable, because I want really the average and every person to be able to do it.
So just go to IamJulietHahn.com and then you will find the program. And also you can find Juliet on LinkedIn if you would like to search and connect. Just write GES 2021 in the comments or the connection request, and then you can, I'm sure she will accept because she will know that you